Hi everybody, I'd like to give you a few more tips on graphing. Today I'm going to construct for you the classical or neoclassical macro model. You'll also construct what's called the Keynesian model. And there's different ways to do this, but I'm going to show you basically all the parts to the classical model here. So here we have an X and a Y axis, and we have our demand curve and a couple supply curves here. So we're going to take a look and label these in the right place. So we'll start with our axes, and we're going to label this first one PL for price level, or you could also label it average price level. Down here we're going to label this real GDP, total amount of goods and services produced in a country. This particular curve sloping down to the right, we're going to label that the aggregate demand curve, and that's going to equal different types of spending in the economy: consumers, business, government spending, taxes, exports, and imports. This particular graph, perfectly inelastic supply curve, is going to be the long-run aggregate supply curve, and that represents all the resources available in a country at any given time. This odd-shaped curve is actually going to be the short-run aggregate supply curve, and that's going to be everything being produced in the economy right now. And the intersection of the LRAS curve and this axis is going to be called full employment. And again, if you haven't done these terms yet, you certainly will. And we have full employment there equaling between 4 and 6%. And let's see, we could also label this real GDP. We could also label that national income. So if we're going to take all of that and just on a day-to-day basis draw this out, we're not going to draw that every time. That's way too much work. So we'll get those all out of the way, and then we'll label it how we're going to draw it on a frequent basis. So over here we're going to keep PL, and the intersection or equilibrium is going about the equilibrium price level. This is going to be the LRAS curve. This is going to be the short run aggregate supply curve. This is going to be aggregate demand. This is going to be full employment, and this is going to be real GDP. And as we read this graph, this is a very healthy economy. Any change from that up this axis would be inflation. Any change from equilibrium down from there would be deflation. As we go this way, real GDP is increasing, and unemployment would be decreasing. As we go this way, real GDP would be decreasing, and unemployment would be increasing. But we'll do a lot more with that. I just wanted to introduce it to you and show you how we're going to label that. I hope it helped.